Hey, welcome back to Sawmill. My name is Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry, and it's a sad day at Pirate Solutions. Apparently, I was out here working on the shed, and I'll show you the progress so far. Somebody went and stole $5 grand out of my account from Ohio. So the bank called me today, and I don't know how. I had my phone turned down, so I didn't hear it ring or anything like that, and getting kind of panic calls from my bank, which my branch is about 200 yards up the street. And they locked up our account, and somehow some woman from Ohio got a hold of our information and wrote herself a check for $4,820. And they cashed it. I can't even imagine how somebody went into a bank without a check. She was the payee and the payer, just with the account number. And went in, they cashed the check. So now our accounts are locked up. Thank God I have a pile of cash in my wallet to get me through the short term. Of course, my bank's going to work with me any way that they can, doesn't matter. So we got to go down Monday morning, and we have to open up a new account, transfer the money out of the other account into the new account. And we have to go down, we have to take a picture of the check and go down and file a police report in town. And then we got to give the police report back to the bank, and they give it to the fraud department, and they're going to try to rectify everything. So sorry about the wind noise. But we're going to go over, give you a look at the shed. And I was going along, and then I got this, and I said, you know what, I don't feel like working anymore today. So tomorrow I'll be milling more. I got to start milling board and batten. And I'll show you what's going on. So take you on the tripod. Sorry about that. And we'll go over and take a look at it. So we got the roof on it. And this is the equipment shed for the sawmill. This is not my saw shop. I am going to put up a timber frame saw shop right kind of where the bobcat's sitting. Big timber frame saw shop. This is just an equipment shed. It's going to be used as a sharpening station. If you've been following along, you kind of know what's going on. I am ready to paper the roof, and I'm putting a metal roof on it. But I kind of want to let that pitch pine dry a little bit. The pitch pine on this side's really dry. The pitch pine on the other side's kind of wet. So I want to let it dry, and we're not looking at any rain or anything for over a week, and it's going to be windy. So it's perfect conditions to dry this thing out. Now, I did pull some white oak off the ground over here that needed to be edged, and I did my rake boards and my fascia in white oak because I just had it lying around in the pile here. So those are 8-inch white oak boards in the front, and I got 7-inch white oak boards on the rake there. And I am going to do soffits, so I did flatten off the bottom of the rafters, and after I put the board and batten in, I will run a soffit in there, which give me a little 1/4-inch reveal along that white oak rake board that you can see sticking out right there. And now what I was doing when I got this emergency call from the bank is I'm putting blocking in. I didn't put this piece in yet. It's kind of when I quit. And I'm using up all my scraps sitting over here, set myself up a station inside, mark myself halfway up. I'll back up a little bit. Halfway up so that the blocking's dead in the middle, and that means that my board and batten will be fastened down the bottom down there and in the middle and up in the top all the way around. It just gives me another point to fasten my board and batten to. You can see my little lines that I drew all the way around for where the blocking is going to go. So I decided to just put some blocking in But I want to let this roof dry out. You can kind of see from where it was sitting in the pile, there's some mold in those pitch pines, and that'll all kind of go away. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to start putting board and batten up on this. So we are going to mill ourselves some board and batten, and I can kind of be selective about what I pull for logs here. I think I want to do it in white pine. Danny, come on. Danny's out here hunting somewhere. I got to find him. I think that's going to be the first log that I mill up. Probably that little log sitting right there is a white pine too. This one in front's a real bendy white pine. I kind of need them to be 8 foot. If you look back at the shed, I know the sun glare is going to be bad here. If you look back at the shed on the front and the back, I can kind of get away with a little less than 8 feet. And on the rake sides, I'm going to need longer stuff. So I'll try to mill everything kind of at 10. Come on, Dan. See if we can find Danny. So I'll start pulling white pines and any small white pines and spruce logs out of here. Kind of got a decent one right there. They'll be easy to deal with. They'll mill out fast. Where the hell did he go? I'm going to pause you 1 second just so I can yell at him and you guys don't have to listen to me. There's a little shaver coming up the hill right here. Just gave him a good yell and he said, "Oh, Dad's mad." Oh, bless you, Danny. Bless you. Hi, good boy. Look at the purple on his back from these berries. Hunting around in here for chipmunks and stuff. He's got purple all over his back. Hi, good boy. So anyway, I'm going to start pulling logs, pull some kind of less desirable, kind of clean white pine logs like that, and shorter ones like that. They'll probably do the sides. On the front side, you know, I got short ones that are going to go under the windows and around the door and stuff like that. So roof came out great. Hopefully you can see. And that's pitch pine on the roof, so that's hard as my feelings. And that I think the white oak was a nice touch. The only thing in hindsight about using the white oak is I think what's going to end up happening is, let me get out of the sun glare here. I think what's going to end up happening is I think the nails will end up bleeding black into it. So that's the only thing I think that will be a drawback to it. I'll probably get up there with some mineral oil and kind of coat those later. I might wait. I might paint it some weird color. It's going to have a green metal roof on it. So I might go ahead and paint these, I don't know, like a red or something like that. That's going to wicked offset it. I asked my wife about it. I wanted to put in a red ridge cap on the, build a wooden red ridge cap on the top with the green roof. And my wife said no. We built a shed for a customer, friends of ours that are customers not too long ago with their rough sawn lumber, not too long ago, probably 4 years ago. And when we did theirs, it was a combination shed and beekeeping supply shed. And they put a red ridge cap on it. We shingled that one, but they put a red ridge cap on it and painted all their trim red. And it really, I kind of liked it. I didn't think I would, and I do. So thought maybe I'd do some red, and she's not a big fan. So one thing that I loved and kind of makes me think about my setup going forward was I really loved having the sawmill out here as I was building away and roofing and stuff, being able to throw stuff on there. Oh, I need something at X amount wide and just throw it up there and zip it off and go right in. I mean, a lot of the time, just as a builder, I'm ripping stuff on here with a, you know, a circular saw, sometimes by eye, sometimes I'm doing it with an edge guide. Probably a little mixture of both. If you can see the angles on the white oak that I ripped up there, I did all those by hand, by eye, just at 8 pitch at 33 1.5 degrees. But I just ripped those on the fly, no guide, no nothing. And that's, you know, kind of how I roll. But yeah, I did rip the angle on there all by eye. But having that sawmill sitting here to be able to rip down planks and stuff like that when you're working with rough sawn is really neat. So, I mean, if I wanted to, let's say I want to do a business where I kind of did kits and put sheds up for people, I would want to be mobile. So I could actually have a sawmill on site as a tool. But this thing's all going to get covered up with board and batten. It'll be varying widths. In the beginning, you know, when I do these logs, I'll cant them out and blast similar boards out of them and then just put them up as I go. So you'll have sections that are all 8 inches wide and probably some sections where it's 10 and whatever. But yeah, it's coming along good. My plan for the inside here is, I think I'm going to put a small wood stove in the corner, and I put a little message out on Facebook last night to my friends. I grew up in a farming town, where Middleborough, Massachusetts, if anybody wants to look it up if you don't know what that means. And we were all farms, big land area, but very small population. My high school class was only 200 kids. We kind of all grew up together, went through school all from, you know, kindergarten all the way through high school, all kind of together. And they've all still got farms and stuff back home, which is about 20 minutes north of me. So on Facebook last night, I said, hey, if any of you guys have a real small old wood stove sitting out in your barn somewhere, I'd be interested in it because I need it for right here. And I don't want it to be very big. I just want it to sit in the corner there, and I'll put some fire rock up around it and a stone underneath it to run a short chimney. And I had like 10 people answer me back and said, oh my God, I've got one, I've got one, I've got one. And I'm like, holy shit. Now I'm scrutinizing their sizes. You know, a lot of them were big, normal wood stoves. You're like, oh, it's been sitting around for 40 years and I got to get rid of it. And it's been sitting around for 20 years and I got to get rid of it. It's just sitting out in the barn. It's been there forever. So I'm kind of picking down to like the smallest one I can get so that it doesn't eat up a lot of space in here. Be a really cool window right there. My workbench is going to go right here with all my sharpening equipment. There's going to be a really cool window right here. I will build the door looking out that way. I did put collar ties up here, so I will have the ability to store stuff in the loft. And I think what I'm going to do, is if you look up in that peak right there, now that doesn't necessarily need to be framed out, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame up and leave myself a 2-foot hole in the center. And I'm going to make after I board and batten it, I'm going to make a hinge door up there so I can feed stuff in. I thought about taking this one out, but even with this one out, I still won't have a lot of room to, let me back up a little bit here. Even if I take that one out, I still won't have a lot of room to feed stuff up into the loft because that 8 pitch is just too low. I should have gone steeper. But if I put myself a little hole in right there, a little hinge door, be really simple to do. Can go ahead and board and batten it. And make sure I have a board both sides of center. And then I'll run, well, let me see. I'll end up supporting it here and here. And that's 2 feet over on both sides. So I'll probably run a support dead center of that up. So I have a 2-foot opening that I can go ahead and make like a little double hinge door that I can open it. And you just put the, what you do is you just go in there, you mark it out, cut with a circular saw, leave the corners intact, install your hinges, come back in with a little hand saw, cut the corners out, and your door would hinge open two ways, kind of like a little saloon style barn door, double little barn door thing that will open like this and like this. And I could feed stuff up in through there because this is the high side. As I back up here, I'm going up in elevation. This is the high side. So you can also see on the back side, I did leave kind of a natural edge on my white oak. Thought that kind of looked cool. And I was bumping into my overhang. I don't normally like to do the square ends like that, but I decided that I was going to expand my horizons and try something a little different. If I hate it, I'll just plumb cut it. But I think it kind of looks cool. A lot of people do that, and I've never really understood why. I've always plumb cut my fascia, but I think I'm going to try to tolerate it. This one's got a cool end on it too. You can kind of see that. I might cut that one back. I'm not sure. This is backed by this holly tree, and it's not going to affect anything. So, yeah, that's what we're doing, and hopefully, we can get this $5,000 sorted out on Monday. Gonna go down there first thing Monday morning and close accounts and open accounts. I think the thing I'm most worried about right now is having to deal with YouTube. My revenue from YouTube automatically transfers into my account through Google AdSense, and I'm not really sure how to change that. I got to figure that out before next month's little pittance of money. I mean, I'm only talking, typically it's $150 to $200, something like that, but I got to figure out how to get that to transfer to the new account. I have no idea how. I know it was a pain in the ass to get it set up first. Look at this dog. This dog has been on the hunt for a week, searching for chipmunks and stuff. Danny, hi. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. I was kind of pissed off, and I was sitting inside and I was watching the news, and hey, FBI, stop playing friggin' political games, supporting candidates and shit, and do your friggin' job and stop these scammers that scam old people and this, that. I'm lucky I have a wallet full of cash right now, or I'd be in a real bad way. And not that they drain the account, but the account's frozen. I can't use it. Now I'm sure, when I go down and I transfer the money out, if I said, hey, give me $5,000, they give me $5,000. My bank's a great bank, but somebody else who doesn't have a lot of cash, let's say you're a single mom, you're sitting at home, you got to feed your kids and you're using your debit card and this, that, and the other thing, and you got maybe bills to pay and you don't have any cash lying around, you'd be fucked for a few days. Friggin' ridiculous. So FBI, get your head out of your ass and go out and do your job and stop these people from scamming old people. And I don't even know how this person got my account information. I have no idea. I mean, I know that they steal it and buy and sell the information when they find out that shit goes through. So if they try an account, and if it goes through for a small amount, then they go for a bigger amount, and they go for a bigger amount. Yeah, this girl went for $4,820, and they cashed it in Ohio. So hopefully tomorrow when you see me, I'll be in a better mood and I'll be milling some pine board and batten. But for now, for Danny over there, still on the hunt, and myself, we always appreciate the watch. Hit me up with any questions. Hit me up with some comments. If you want to say, hey, sorry it happened to you, Bill, at least I'm lucky enough to be able to weather the storm here. I had to go into my truck and see if my checkbook got stolen, and they're like, oh, no, it happened in Ohio. I'm like, what the fuck, Ohio? So, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I hope it never happens to any of you. But for Danny and myself, this Power Solutions out.